Mr. Chair.
All right then. Okay, so I'd like to start off with any disclosure of pecuniary interest. None. Okay, so we'll move on to motion to approve the minutes of the board meeting held May 3rd, 2023. Does, okay. Any questions on that before we, all in favor?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Discussion item is number 3, update on museum opening and operating. Now, we've opened already for the weekends with the 2 students and Gladys and I, and Chris and Will have been doing the over 18 portion,
Yes.
if you will. So, and we have,
2 interviews tomorrow.
yeah. So hopefully, right, hopefully we get somebody out of this. So if we do, we can,
It'll depend on if they can start this weekend or next.
yeah. So
I'm still around this weekend anyway, so
which day did you want?
doesn't matter.
Okay, because I have to go up to New Liskeard on Friday.
So you want me to do Saturday?
Sure, if you could, and I'll do Sunday. So,
At 10?
Yeah, 10 to 4. And
Okay.
Will will be
Is
the
somebody
main,
gonna come let me in?
yeah, will be the main contact. I'm away at training for all of next week.
Okay.
so if everything works out, what will be our opening day, I guess, is for full week. The reason I'm saying if it works out, because if it doesn't work out, we're gonna have difficulty opening during the week.
Mhm.
So. What date? What was the planned date? We had written that down somewhere.
Well, we had planned to open during the week in May, but that didn't
Yeah,
work
that
out.
didn't
So we
work.
were planning on just weekends for June until the students were out of school. But if we have someone to work in the museum, you could open during the week. But whoever we get for in the museum, they won't be doing any cataloging or anything like that. So I don't know what tasks we could give them.
Okay,
I think we'd have to wait and see what our candidates are experienced with,
Yeah,
what
judging,
they can do before we can make a decision on that.
yeah, because judging from their resumes, neither one have the experience in museum.
now, would it be okay now to talk about the potential shifting around to make it work?
Not in open session because you'll be identifiable.
Oh, all right,
individual.
okay. Well, that's why I asked. So for now, I guess we can kind of hang our hats on that one and hope for the best. Updates on the Trillium grant application for the foundation.
We were not successful. We received word at the beginning of this week that we were not successful, so we're continuing to look for different funding avenues for the foundation repair. And we'll go from there.
Yeah,
We're going to work towards an RFP to see exactly what the costs will be, and then see if we can work it into the budget for 2024 without financial assistance, depending on the total.
Did we not budget ahead for this when we knew that there was something wrong with the foundation? I guess it's been coming up for a while,
The reserve amount was used.
because I haven't been in on this for a while.
yeah,
So the reserve amount was used, that was set aside for the museum when we got the Main Street grant through AMO. And that was when we did the candy store in the front and all of the other construction. So there were no reserves left.
Okay.
So since then, we've built some reserves up. And so we have about, I think we have about $16,000 in reserve now. So we're still constantly building towards it, but
any idea what the potential cost is?
I have no idea at this time, except for what
Yeah,
that rough estimate that was given to us for the application purposes. So now we'll go out to RFP just to get a quote to see what the actual cost will be, to see.
What was
we
the
can
rough
come-
estimate?
Don't have it with me.
Oh,
Do you remember what it was?
Just shy of 80.
Yeah, 80,000 is what we were looking at.
no.
that's painful. Okay,
But I believe that also included engineering costs, but we've already got our engineer report, so hopefully we can shave some of that off.
yeah. Do you guys have the report on the foundation? I guess.
I
it's
sent it out
that,
in the
yeah.
package
Yeah,
with the
it's in the
pictures.
package, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, so. All right, I guess that's it for discussion items. Move on to, the working discussion on the working document.
Before we continue, can I just find out something about, are the air conditioners on 24/7?
As far as I know.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
worried about the mold, because we can get mold in both those buildings.
Mhm.
And then the humidifier in the hardware store, okay, they're all
The
working,
dehumidifier, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Just, that
And
was in the
it's,
back of my memory. from before.
the dehumidifier is piped right to the outside, so that it,
Okay,
so we don't have to worry about draining a bucket.
yeah, well, I was just worried about the candy too, if we got mold in the store and stuff, that would be just an absolute disaster.
Especially with the inventory we're carrying.
Mhm.
So, anyway. Yeah, we're in good shape there.
Okay,
So I went through this earlier. And I wasn't sure if I should have been adding stuff to this or,
I'm looking for input from the board. These
Okay.
are the existing documents that govern the board right now, so it's time to make changes and update them. Some of them are dated. And this will all go towards our strategic plan for the museum.
now the strategic plan for the museum is also included as an add-on to,
I would like to make it an addendum to the municipal strategic plan.
might help out in the long run for funding and stuff. It's, you know. So as a community museum complex owned and operated by the Nipissing Township, the museum functions with the community as an educational institution working symbiotically with formal and informal education systems and in active response to the community's history, celebrations, and current affairs. Therefore, programming at the museum operates at all levels and attempts to make optimum use of resources and facilities for educational, recreational use. Programming serves a range of people within the community and region and welcomes tourists and visitors. Anybody feel that should be changed or added to or something removed or anything? Just trying to,
yeah, I've read that over 2 or 3 times, I just don't see how we could put it any differently. What do you think, Mary?
Is it in the words that you would like municipal levels type things?
I haven't looked at it for that. There's a few changes that have to be made just for wording, but other than that, it's fine. It's up to the board, what the board wants to
Yeah, I
see.
realize
But
that,
it's the
but
wording.
to make sure it's okay for.
Oh, yes, I'll go through that part. There's a few things, but it won't change the intent of it.
Okay, yes.
We'll all see that before the final.
Oh,
draft
absolutely,
anyway.
yeah.
Okay, so that's the statement of intent. I guess there's 5 or
The statement of purpose is next.
yes.
Mhm.
Okay, statement of purpose to provide a safe repository for the historical artifacts of our township and area and to make them available for public viewing. Anything there? That's pretty straightforward stuff.
Yeah.
To encourage the preservation of our cultural heritage by holding annual events that invite participation by residents and visitors. To welcome members of the community and visitors to the museum and provide educational tours of the buildings and contents. To play a role in identifying and celebrating the history of the founding families of our area. To maintain a high standard of preservation of buildings, grounds, and collection of artifacts. Anything there?
I think that's pretty straightforward in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm reading through this and you see something, jump in, okay? So the programs strive to achieve the following objectives under the program objectives: to develop and maintain the museum as a dynamic institution committed to providing Nipissing Township and surrounding region exciting and innovative, informative, and historically accurate educational and social resources.
A little bit of a run on there.
Big dream.
Well, but, and well, the surrounding region now, and I've talked about collaborating with the library to do stuff out there. So there's,
It
kind of- yeah,
it covers that.
That
Yeah.
could be edited to just an area. Don't know whether exciting needs to be in there. I can't really say. Or against
it's
exactly over the
interesting,
top.
but really not exciting.
Mhm.
Yeah, so. Well, if we can
We can take that out if you like.
chew on that one for a bit and see if we can,
Like say you probably should just come out.
yeah. All right, to provide the public learning opportunities and to promote involvement through interactive educational experiences.
I think that one and the next one actually could be combined.
Okay.
To educate our community people about the purpose and function of museums and all, yeah.
And
I'd like to take people out of there.
How about population
Yeah.
or whatever? something.
Or just leave it at
Which is-
community.
yeah,
and
we
just
just-
take the
Community
people
yeah,
out.
works, yeah.
community.
It's just people doesn't need to be there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just took the typewritten documents and just typed what was actually approved.
yeah. All right, to develop and maintain the museum as a current and relevant resource and institution for the community.
I don't know whether they really need the institution in there. I think that's.
Yeah, I think resource for the community is.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'd like to see something in there about having the school included, having school children included.
So the interactive educational experiences, you could add it in there and say, involving the local schools and bringing them in.
Yeah,
well, wouldn't that fall under the next page, which is,
The program.
Public programs?
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so.
the following
Your-
public programs, opportunities,
Yeah,
program opportunities are offered.
Your objectives drive your programs. So that's why putting it into the objectives of it.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
Right.
yeah, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, like,
Sorry.
that should be one of our goals, is to keep
Yeah.
the kids interested in what's in their community.
Okay, so we're good with objectives for now? We might come back to it when we,
Yeah, if there's
Finish.
more, that would be good.
yeah. Some stuff might bounce back and forth. The following public program opportunities are offered. Visitors are greeted, provided with information about the site and given a tour of the site. Occasional public programs such as workshops and lectures, particularly in conjunction with temporary exhibits and community celebrations. Special events cover a range of topics in order to
There's no
raise,
verb in that sentence.
which one?
That
Occasional
occasional
public
public programs,
programs.
there's no verb.
No.
You're not gonna do anything, it's just there.
How about to be provided, such as?
See, now it's been so long since I've been out of school. I read that and it wouldn't come together and I couldn't put my finger on it. Nailed it.
School marm help did it here.
I would never notice because I'm the person that was like 50 in English.
Okay, so special events cover a range of topics. And we're doing the same thing here, aren't we? Special events cover a range of topics in order to raise a community profile of the museum, including cultural events involving children's activities as well as adult-oriented attractions that address the requirements for a family outing.
I don't think we need that address the requirements for a family outing. I think that's just verbiage.
I agree.
Yeah,
And that's where you're involving the children's activities for the school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
so the danger with the document quite often is people keep adding to it and they forget. that-
Changing the words around, yeah.
Yeah, they forget to edit it down to a workable. Okay, so museum endeavors to complement programs offered by other local institutions, museums and clubs. That's the library collaboration.
Mhm. Or
If
that
we can-
passport thing you showed us last.
Yeah.
week.
Yes,
Put it in
exactly.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not going away. I like that,
Hmm.
just so you know. How long ago was that? Yeah.
Oh, 1999 or something like that, and it was right up Highway 11, up north too.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, you've got different, you'll have to decide how far you want to go and how many other ones that are now around here can be included in it that are off Highway 11.
mm-hmm. Now, that just programs and what we're offering, that falls under there. I'm just throwing out an idea. Or an idea is hatching in my head here. So the idea of that is to have people visit the different museums on the way up, right? Now, at some point, should we have a collaborative meeting with the other
Well,
boards
if
to
this,
see?
if this were to go ahead, you'd have to contact all the other ones and get it to them to work it into their programming. And it would probably take, like, it would be next year or sometime that it was done.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's
it wouldn't
not-
happen overnight.
No,
Mhm.
no.
Yeah.
But yes, that's what you would do. Is
Okay.
contact all the other museums that you would like to see in it. That would be your
I
starting
think the
point.
first thing you'd have to do is send them a letter and ask if there was any interest first.
Yeah, tell
Yeah.
them, you'd have to have sort of an idea that they could add, that everybody could add to, but they could see when they received a letter with a sort of an idea about it.
Or you could take a road trip and just visit.
No, you gotta make it so
That'd be
it goes
more
to
official
every,
if it's a letter, yeah.
every
Well,
museum meeting.
so in the near future, I guess we'll have to have a motion to or put together a motion to send a letter out.
Okay, so that can be on the next one and we can come up with a list.
You know, just throwing that out there while we're in public programs. Additional services, Guided tours are offered during public and outside of normal public hours by means of appointment arranged in advance.
Can I change the wording on that?
Absolutely.
Keeping in mind what we're looking at, but I'll change the wording on that.
Because outside of normal public hours,
No.
we,
Not normally, no.
should it be there?
No.
Okay, that's what you want to take out?
Well, I wanted to work around that, but if so previously, we've had the museum manager start before we were open, for
Oh,
example.
yeah, okay.
So if a group approached the museum manager asking to come through before we were officially open for the season, I could see that being outside of normal hours too, if they could, you know, accommodate. I just don't like the wording of it there.
Terrible.
So we would just say, or by special appointment or something.
Something,
like
yeah,
that, right?
yeah,
So, but
yeah.
so we don't want to turn anyone away. We just don't want to say that we're willing to open.
Don't want to leave it wide.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially when you think in the mind of the schools coming, they have to know ahead of time when they make appointments, so.
And it's such
Yeah.
a large group that I think that's why the previous manager liked to try and do that before we actually opened up.
Yes,
Because they're not able, when they're working alone, to look after the rest of the museum and accommodate the school.
yeah.
So those things would be in there.
and we're strapped for bodies at this point.
Mhm.
Okay, so next line, special assistance with research is provided by means of an appointment arranged in advance.
I don't think you
There
need
we go.
means of an,
No,
By
special,
appointment.
yeah,
yeah,
And
by appointment arranged in advance, or just by.
just by appointment would work.
Yeah.
yeah. Because everybody kind of understands by appointment.
Mhm.
Okay. Policy review and approval. Nipissing Township's museum program and education policy is approved by the museum board. Fair enough. Program and education policy is reviewed on a regular basis or any time that changes are deemed necessary.
I think we should put a time frame on regular basis. Because sometimes when you leave the verbiage in a document saying we're going to review it on a regular basis, that's just overlooked. So if you put a time frame on it, you can actually put it into a calendar and say, you know, every 4 years, for example, on change of council.
You wouldn't want it to go that long though, I don't think, because.
Those are for for our documents that we do. So
Yeah,
I'd like to see a time frame.
You could put at least every 4 years in there, maybe, you know,
Yeah.
unless we find that something needs it in between.
Because you can always come forward at the board's request for review,
mhm,
but just not letting it go past a certain point.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Just
fair.
review it every 4 years.
Okay, exhibition policy. Township Museum exhibition policy sets the guidelines for the museum with respect to exhibitions displayed at the museum. It must uphold the museum's statement of purpose and also meet the needs and interests of the residents of and visitors to the Township of Nipissing. The exhibits provide information on the history of the township in an educational and entertaining manner.
We need that
Educational
last- we need that
manner.
last sentence.
I don't think we need the last sentence, no.
Well, that was, just seems extra to me. Because before that it says interests of residents and visitors to the township is of Nipissing. They wouldn't be there if they weren't interested, so like, do we need that last sentence?
I'll take it on.
Okay, exhibitions. The Nipissing Township Museum hosts 2 types of exhibits, permanent and temporary. Permanent before the acquisition of an artifact, the curator and the museum board ensure that the item is an appropriate representation of the purpose of the museum and that it will complement the overall appearance of the exhibits currently on display at the museum. Each article is carefully researched to verify its authenticity and relevance to the history of the Township of Nipissing. Once it has been determined that an item has been an asset to the museum, or that an item will be an asset to the museum, it is carefully cataloged with a brief description of the item, the date that it was acquired, and the name of the person who donated it, if applicable. Are we there yet?
We have that on several items. There's just a few that,
Oh, okay.
and we just need a procedure in place to state step by step how it's done.
Okay. Now, do we have a procedure in place that if it's not done, that we just, the item stays in storage until it's done?
We don't have any procedure at all right now for catalog.
You know, because there's stuff out there from the Moore family that's
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, that's
not
why,
looked after.
Yes.
So
okay,
that's kind of hanging fire.
yeah. Anyway, I just,
But does it need if applicable after there? Everything needs to be done. It's not an if applicable.
yeah. Yeah, because somebody has to donate it. The exhibits in the museum are designed with a general theme. For example, visitors see an 18th century schoolroom or a portion of a general store. Are we setting them up in that context?
Kind of,
Sort of?
not on a big scale
No. Oh, okay. Okay, so each artifact is displayed in the appropriate setting and the card with the detailed information on the object is placed with it. These cards are kept in excellent condition and replaced whenever needed.
Do we have those now? Because I didn't see any.
No. If there are cards, they've probably been swept off the floor a few times.
I haven't seen any.
There used to be.
There used to be, but
don't
it was
think there is
stick on and not
Yeah, I
everything.
haven't
though. There might be the odd spot where there's a little, but not,
But when we were in the church,
no,
No.
no.
so
So
So-
maybe we should just eliminate that one for now
For
until we
now.
decide whether we want to do that.
it could just
Is
be
that
stated that
reasonable?
Something, but yeah, it needs to go back in, but not at this point.
maybe
Yeah,
not necessarily here, but in the procedure for cataloging. Would that be?
yeah,
That
Yeah,
would be, yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we can reference that in this policy, that it will follow the procedures set out for cataloging.
Yeah.
So that it ties it together.
Okay.
Okay.
Any items that require special care, whether it be the preservation of the artifact or for safety reasons, are kept in display cases or behind a barrier. Provincial and federal legislative requirements are strictly adhered to in the displays, most especially in the handling and display of historical firearms. Well, we have historical firearms on the wall in
In the church?
Church.
Firing pins.
No, they've all
No
been,
firing
they've all
pins.
been taken care
They've
of.
all, yeah.
Okay, so they're okay to be where they are then.
Yes.
And most of since the church has been renovated, most of the displays are not behind a barrier either.
Exactly.
And I kind of like that. It makes it more friendly, more homey, and I don't think we should have that in there.
Okay,
We can take all of it out. Because
Yeah.
we should be following all of the provincial and federal legislation, so we
Yeah.
shouldn't put it in there that we're going to follow it, because
Yeah.
we just
So-
should.
Yeah.
So we'll just remove that paragraph.
remove, yeah, the whole paragraph.
Mhm.
Many items in the museum, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so many items in the museum are rotated with other items in storage on a monthly basis to ensure preservation and a fresh look in the museum.
Should
So
be.
that's a wish thing there.
Yes, it should
be.
I don't think it's happened in a long time.
No,
But it should be.
it should be. That's,
But that doesn't say that.
No, no, it says that it will be done, really.
no, it says many items, not all items, but many items in each display in the museum are rotated with other items in storage on a monthly basis. No, they're not.
I think we should eliminate that until we decide what we're going to do with all the stuff that is in storage.
Yeah,
Because there's a whole room downstairs at the
Yeah.
community center too, that's
Mhm.
cool.
Till we know, till we at least know where it is and what.
And
yeah.
yeah, that's where the cataloging is vital, so that we know exactly what we
This-
have.
This isn't realistic till we've got all that in a row. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you could always put it in that the rotate the items on a monthly basis. They will be allowed to be.
Yeah,
Or you could say may. So
maybe.
Maybe,
items in each display
Yeah.
in the museum may be rotated with other items in storage on a regular basis.
Should be.
Take out monthly, because we don't know what,
Should be probably.
yeah,
well,
may,
Should be, hold you to it.
yeah, may
Yeah.
is, it
Sure.
gives you the
True.
option.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Shall
We
says
need
you
to wait
will,
a
but
little.
may gives you that flexibility we're looking for, till we can get to a place where we need to be.
artifacts may be rotated on a,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
something like that.
yeah,
On a regular basis.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
on a regular basis.
on a regular basis.
Because that will give you the opportunity to do it if you have the personnel and time to do it.
Yes,
And it gives you the opportunity, if that display is popular for 2 months, you can keep it. You don't have to switch it.
And so using the word may and on a regular basis, I'd like to play with those words a little bit. when I
Yeah.
get done.
Yep. The curator and or the curator's assistant are always available to greet visitors and give each one a personal tour of the museum. This is done to ensure that everyone experiences a safe, enjoyable, and informative visit.
So we took out the title of curator a few years ago.
Okay.
We changed it to manager.
It's museum manager, so we don't have a curator any longer.
and
Okay,
we can't say they are always available.
No, what we've discovered over just the past couple of weekends is someone has to be in the store at
Yeah.
all times.
Oh,
You
yes.
can't leave anything.
Well, this was written before we had the store, so.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Hmm.
So we have
all I know of
Just
last,
staff.
yeah,
yeah, so just museum staff shall be available
yeah,
to greet
Yes.
visitors and provide personal tours.
yeah, because it's not necessarily the manager gonna be doing it either. It could be the kids.
It's better to get the students involved.
Yeah.
So,
And actually, she did a very good job.
yeah, they
After the
both,
first time, she did a really good
she's here
job.
now, got another weekend under her belt and she's doing really well. So, and do we need to say that it's done to ensure that everyone experiences a safe, enjoyable and informative visit? Because isn't that the point of everything? Of the
No,
personal
I
tours?
don't think that's,
It's probably, yeah.
there might be somebody that didn't enjoy themselves and then we'd be stuck.
Yeah, yeah, now we gotta take them through again. So change curator and,
And take out that last sentence,
Yeah.
maybe that could be better wording, yeah. Wow, yeah,
every season, the displays in Nipissing Township Museum are evaluated, maintained, or redesigned as needed. New displays are constructed using a portion of the museum's budget specifically allocated for this purpose.
I think in the 2024 budget, we would put back in a line into the budget for displays, because we don't have that right now.
So we will put it back in the
Yeah,
budget.
We can, for sure.
So if that's the case, then we can leave this in here.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's moot.
I think it's important to leave it in, because that's something that we should be looking at.
Oh, yeah, and, yeah, try and improve the budget for the museum a little bit. Oh, not something that would mess up our The budget. What was the temporary for?
These are temporary exhibits.
Oh, I see, okay. Every year, the Nipissing Township Museum holds a Heritage Day. The theme of this event is changed every year, but is consistent with the museum's statement of purpose and is always relevant to the history of the township. Members of the community are invited to set up and display any artifacts or information they may own and own that relate to the year's theme. This is accomplished under the supervision and direction of the curator to ensure safe, ethical, and accurate exhibits. These displays are used in conjunction with the museum's exhibition of the theme. So we remove curator. When was the last time we did that?
I don't know whether we need to ensure safe, ethical, and accurate exhibits.
Yeah, I don't
I
like,
think that's
the whole
more,
end of it is wordy and not
that's
necessary.
just more words. What do
Yeah,
you
and
think?
it's subjective, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think you can remove the last two sentences in that paragraph safely.
This is accomplished from this is accomplished on.
Mhm.
Okay,
Because obviously they would be working with the museum manager,
yeah.
Anyway, yes.
mhm.
so.
Now, what Heritage Day, did we call it Heritage Day?
Yeah.
Do we still do? Okay,
yeah.
So the one thing that we have, that we require is the theme for 2023's Heritage Day. Has that been set?
No, we
We
haven't
haven't-
said it
That
yet.
hasn't been discussed yet, has it?
No.
So that's something that we can have the students working on, finding different artifacts in the museum on the weekends. So,
Yeah, because they would have to source it all out to get the display ready.
correct.
Have you thought of a topic?
I was just thinking, somebody's gonna have to tell me what they were in the last. Oh, you know, that 3 years off for COVID.
Yeah.
It's hard to come back, eh? Get the brain going again. So, you want to discuss the topic right now?
Yeah, we can move on with this document. It's not something that's on the agenda, but it's something that came up while we were working over the past couple of weekends, that it's something that we need to get on. And that we
Yeah.
could have the students working on while they're in there.
Did they have access to finding what the heritage themes were in the last few years?
We could go back to the minutes.
Do you want them to do it or do you want us to do it?
That we have the minutes in the office, so we can look that up.
That would give us some new ideas too.
I'll keep moving. So the working document, Nipissing Township Collection Management Policy. The Nipissing Township Museum was founded to preserve and display the history of the village of Nipissing and the entire surrounding township.
I think we're just surrounding township.
How about the
Enough.
history of the Township of Nipissing?
Instead of village.
Yeah, because it wasn't just the village. Like when you look at any part of it,
History, so just the history of Nipissing.
yeah.
You can't just leave it at Nipissing, because then it gets confused with West Nipissing.
It has to be.
It has to
township.
be-
Yeah, it has to say Township of Nipissing. Anybody who's responded to a fire call in this township knows that.
And we're moving everything toward the township of Nipissing, so we've
Yeah.
been slowly changing everything.
To township and
Yeah,
Yeah. Because years ago, I've gotten up in the middle of the night. Calls to Big Moose Road in West Nipissing. And you gotta get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning when you get a call, and you're halfway to the fire hall when you realize it's not Nipissing. So, anyway,
and we field a lot of calls every week
yeah,
for West Nipissing. So you have to
It's
tell them
crazy.
this is the township of Nipissing in the district of,
It's
Oh.
for everything. We get paid taxes for West Nipissing. There's confusion about the district of Nipissing. It's a lot. But how about taking out entire and just saying, and the surrounding area?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
encompassing, right?
That's what I've already done.
Okay, perfect. I'm glad we're all on the same page.
Yeah. Okay, we're good there. Okay, so collection objects should be of historical significance to this area and contribute to a clearer understanding of some former custom, activity, happening, or person. Because of the limited space, the museum must be very selective in choosing objects for the collection. Proper care and storage must be taken into account.
I like to do grammatical things here.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Should never begin a sentence with because, so that should come after.
Yeah.
So the museum must be very selective in choosing objects for collection because of the limited space.
Okay, acquisition. Objects
So
for,
there,
Yes.
I'm just teasing here. That is, it is. In the first one you read, it says its duty, it should be no apostrophe in that since I'm on a roll here.
No, I know. This is all what we just took from the typewritten pages, so I would go through and fix all of those errors as well.
Yeah.
I can't help myself.
That's good.
42 years.
yeah, yes, hard to turn it off.
Yeah, it is. My grandkids will tell you that.
Oh, no, we're not visiting grandma, she's gonna correct us. Objects for display in the museum can be acquired in two different ways: through donations or purchases. If by donation, the museum must ensure that the donor is the true owner of the item and signs a transfer of ownership. For purchases, the museum should receive a bill of sale with information of the vendor included.
I don't see how you could change that.
Why do we have to call it in two different ways?
Yeah, I
Why
was
don't we just
looking
put
at that
objects for display in the
Right.
museum can be acquired through donation or purchase?
Yeah.
As soon as I spit it out.
So what I really like about this is, rather than adding to a document here, we're paring it down. At the end of the day, we're paring it down.
Yeah, somebody got very wordy.
Yeah, they were just on and on.
Yeah.
Of course, it would take me about 10 times through it to get it.
Management of collection. The curator decides whether to accept an object for display, but does consult with the museum board before finalizing. Okay, we're using curator again here.
Yeah, I'm just putting everywhere there's curator.
Okay. The curator and the board also decide when an artifact does not meet the criteria for the collection's management policy. In that case, the artifact or artifacts is removed from the collection and offered first to the donor or the donor's family. If this step cannot be taken, then another museum can be approached to see if they want it or would exchange for something more significant to the collection. Another option would be to sell it with the proceeds going towards acquisition of other items. If an artifact is in bad repair, the conservator should be consulted, and if nothing can be done, the artifact should be destroyed in a safe and ethical manner.
I don't know how to pare that down. Didn't we have an organ or something that we were looking after for the Mattawa Museum?
Yep,
Remember that.
yep.
And then we had them come and take it back.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of fits into that whole paragraph there.
I'm reading, well, see, I didn't know about the organ because I was reading that paragraph and that's not happening here.
Mhm.
It does though.
We had a huge wood stove too from the
Yes.
was,
Yes,
yeah, I don't know if it's still in there.
no, it isn't. We got rid of it.
It was too big.
The
Yeah.
wood electric stove?
No.
No,
it
no,
was a
no, I
wood
think we got rid of,
stove.
if I'm not mistaken, I think we
Yeah.
got rid of it.
Because we got a huge wood
Because-
stove in there that's got one electric element on
I think it's got
In
one.
the hardware store.
In the
it. Yeah,
hardware
it's
store,
hardware
yeah.
store.
Yeah. that's
There
not
was
this
a-
one.
But it turned out this one stove wasn't even really museum material, like it wasn't,
Oh,
and yeah, I'm pretty sure we got rid of it.
Yeah.
I think so.
We
And the
did get rid of
high-end
one about
models too.
5, 6 years ago. Cause I remember we needed like 6 or 7 people to move it.
Yeah, that'd be it.
That sounds about right. That'd be it.
Yeah, cause we kept the one, there was 2, and we kept the one that's in the door at the hardware store.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it's never gonna move.
It does. We moved it a couple times.
Is it?
the Heineken bottles were behind it, I remember that. Just saying,
But this is,
You get a refreshment after heavy lifting.
yeah.
Okay,
this does lay out well how to look after the artifacts. now.
yes,
Yeah,
it does. But I wasn't aware that we had artifacts that situation occurred, so. Cataloging. Curator, the museum manager takes the object on consideration until a board decision can be made. Then the item is either returned to the donor or included in the museum's collection. At that point, a gift form is filled out. The artifact is assigned a number and it is added to the accession register. After the accession card is made out, one copy of which is filed, one sent to the donor along with a letter of acknowledgement, and one sent to the township offices. The item itself is then numbered in an inconspicuous place to correspond with the accession register. The museum manager adds it to
there.
their worksheet along with a condition report, historical significance, and the specific care required for the artifact. Do we do that now?
Now, are we doing this on cards or is it all going to be computerized now?
It should all be computerized at some point, but there's typewritten pages, there's handwritten pages, and there's computer. So there's a mix of everything. So
Okay.
once we have hopefully the intern that we're hoping to get, they can work on how they're gonna put it all into the computer and then we'll have it printed.
Okay.
Okay. Artifacts on loan. The number of artifacts on display in the museum that are on loan are kept to as small a percentage as possible. The museum is not equipped to care for, store, or guarantee the security of items on loan. If an artifact is taken on loan, it is only short-term and is registered on a specific form for loans. This includes a condition report and the potential for any damage. It is also assigned a loan number.
So that's pretty specific.
That is pretty specific. Now, do we have a loans form?
Yes,
Oh, we
Yeah,
do?
We do,
Okay,
because I think we did that one time. Somebody
Because-
brought some stuff in.
because I buy my one loan form or copy of the loan form somewhere over the weekend, but don't ask me where it is now, because I wasn't looking for it.
I know where it is. You put it somewhere so you wouldn't forget where it was.
That's exactly right.
I know I
Now, do we
that all the
have a
time.
lot of things on loan?
I don't know.
I don't think so really anymore. Because we did sort of a spree of getting rid of stuff when we
yeah.
got rid of the organ.
Yeah,
And
and then when we remodeled the church.
Yeah.
Stuff.
yeah,
Mhm.
because we got rid of,
But isn't there an organ in the church? Yes. there is.
yes,
Oh, yeah, yeah, this
It's a
was
different
one, the one that we got rid of was, I think Mattawa was just using us for storage.
yes, exactly. But it was in the, where we put the store.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And that's about the
Yeah.
time it had to go back because,
We're not on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when a lot of other stuff kind of went out too.
Oh, okay.
On
They did
loan.
a purge at that point.
Yeah, like there was a lot of stuff in that office that wasn't required. I mean, it didn't add to the thing
Yeah.
really, so it went back.
Well, I know when I see a calendar, it's 1957 and I was born in 54, it makes, in a museum. I,
It happens.
well, I know, it was just, a little culture shock there, you know? Or a little reality slap is what it was. But anyway, I'm over it. Well, I'm almost over it now. Outgoing loans. All loan requests must be in writing and the borrower must be from a reputable institution. Condition report is made up before it goes on loan and immediately when it is returned. An outgoing loan agreement form is filled out and signed by the borrower who takes total responsibility for the artifact.
That's
Do we need reputable there? Could it be recognized or something like that? No, we need reputable.
Well,
Like, we wouldn't even consider it if they weren't reputable. Would we?
true,
I wouldn't recommend it.
but how do
It might
we
need
know
to be there though, just,
I think that something needs to be there.
recognized and reputable? Well, you know, because they have to be a borrower, like, would we just loan out to other museums or would we loan something to an individual for display?
Like for a family
Or
reunion
for
or
a
something.
purpose, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we're not too apt to do that anyway.
I wouldn't recommend it,
No,
No.
no,
just
not,
because of the
that's-
liability of what happens if something happens to that.
that's
artifact.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it almost
I
has
guess
to
we have
just be another
That one has
museum.
to
I think.
stay as is then, I guess.
yeah. Okay, policy. The collection management standard will be reviewed and updated on a regular basis by the members of the Nipissing Township Museum Board.
Do you want to do they every 4
I
years?
would like
then?
to do that, just to keep it so that we're sure that it gets done, that's all. Update it. Well, and it can be done more often is if there's changes that
Yeah.
are required, so, so we could say updated every 4 years or as required, like we did with the other wording.
Yeah,
Any of this can be changed at any time, should there be a need.
So we will review this at the next meeting.
Yeah, I'd like to put together the formal and then bring it back for adoption if we're ready to go to that step, yes.
I wonder if we could have it before the meeting so that we could
I'll
just
get
to
it,
make it faster once we get to the meeting.
absolutely. Yes, I'll try and get it out as early as possible.
now, I have a question too. I understand that a member of the Moore family, donated $2,000 for repair, and so where does that money sit now? Like,
It's in reserve.
oh, okay.
Mhm.
So is it in with all the
It's
reserve or
all-
is it set aside?
We just have one reserve fund, but there is a note on that fund that the $2,000 is for that purpose.
Because if they showed up and said, how come that hasn't been fixed, or, you
is,
know, it would be
was it
embarrassing.
specifically for
Yes.
items they donated?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's what it's there for, and that's what's noted in the reserve document itself.
See, you have to tell me everything one time a year.
I remembered it when she reminded me, but I knew it was there. That's all I have. No, that's just
Oh,
for the
okay.
end. So
Okay.
All
whatever
right.
you want to do.
Well, I think that's where we're at,
Okay.
unless anybody else has anything they want to toss on the table.
Can I make mention of something I think started with you at the,
Is it good or?
yeah, because you're on the board of the library. I got the message that they talked about having more representation in the library of the history of each of the municipalities that contribute.
Oh,
Therefore, would like to have arranged something, and this doesn't have to be done tonight or anything. It arranged to have like pictures out for 3 months or something like that, and then we'll change it to the other municipality
Mhm.
type of thing.
Oh, that's a nice
That's a
idea.
good idea.
So that, feature them once every 3 months or something like
Mhm.
that,
Yeah.
anyway. That's what we tossed around when Marie and I were talking about it after you brought it up, their
Yes.
meeting, I believe. Yeah,
Oh, and you were talking to Marie after that.
yes.
Yes,
Mhm,
well, that was part of that collaboration thing.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted everybody to know about that, so we can see if that's agreeable. Right now, we haven't even taken a measurement of how much space there is there that we could put up pictures.
So
Is this like photos
have-
or paintings or,
Anything,
okay.
a library board meeting
yes?
coming up.
On
that's
a
task
table
for the week.
display, not
No,
on the
no,
wall.
no, we're talking about wall space.
So it's gotta be framed and.
Yeah, to put pictures up,
Oh,
yeah, but it would be something that would be, we could take a look at the pictures and see what represents Nipissing or something, whether it's the boat that used to go down the river or what it is, and
The old general store.
yeah, like
Something like
anything like
The
that
original bridge.
Yeah.
that we can find, it would just depend what we could find and how much space we can get at the library.
Okay.
Your mind is going again. The book I read on
Yes,
the weekend.
that was, I had that written down, book, see, the same
The
one.
book.
Yeah.
We could take some of those to the library.
What
With
The
that,
book we were discussing.
Oh, the book,
That
the
book.
book that's come back to haunt me, yeah.
well,
We have a lot of those books.
we have a lot of them. We could potentially help out the library by moving some of those out there.
Yeah, now I'm going to be making a trip for another reason. For the library and down through, like from here to Berks Falls, Mattawa, or no, that's
Magnetowan?
Magnetowan, the other one, yeah, the other M. And so what the request there was that somebody offered to copy the manuscript of Mr. Curtin. And the thing is, that's what we actually printed years ago and had for sale,
And that's that little book.
that little
right?
book, yeah.
We have a lot of those.
Yeah, so I would do something like arrange to take one to each library down the line and,
Mhm.
and even go over to Perry Sound and whatnot to, spread that. You know what the topic is?
The Russell Road.
No,
Oh,
no. This is the northern lumbering in the northern, part of, our district here.
Perry Sound District.
Perry Sound District, yes, it was just the Perry
is
Sound.
that what the book
So we
was
have,
about?
we have
Yes.
one book, yeah, the history of the northern
Okay, I
Perry
didn't
Sound
read that
District.
one.
And then the other book that looks identical
is
is the
the
Nipissing
Township
History.
Heritage one.
Okay,
Yes,
it was
we
the
have both.
Nipissing history one that I read.
We have lots of
I haven't
books.
read the other one yet.
Okay, well, the other is about logging and lumbering in, and it's got, if you're looking for where your family was, if they were, into that kind of lifestyle, which a lot of people were.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
a
know.
lot of
I
information.
peeled a lot of 4-foot pulpwood in the spring during black fly season and tossed it into the Blanche River. And you listed for the Eddie Match Factory in Hillbury. I know all about that stuff. And all that stuff was drawn out with horses, so.
So if you have a list of all of the
That's all I have.
museums that you're
Yeah.
going to be going to.
One day I'll get there
How about
too.
we do a letter with a copy of each of the books and put it into an envelope as a package for you to deliver to each of those museums? Does that sound?
Yeah.
And then we'll just write that out of our inventory of the museum.
Mhm.
Okay.
Do we need a motion for that?
Also, I'd like to get to the libraries, really.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Libraries,
tell me which one, like, just give me a
Yeah.
list and then I can get the packages ready. Then I can bring a motion to the next meeting
Yeah.
stating that this is what
Yeah,
we're asking for permission after the fact, but I think that would be feasible.
yes, because I know there's a lot of them, the
Mhm.
books.
yeah. There aren't enough museums and libraries.
Yeah, well, it happened to be an author of those kind of books that suggested to one of the libraries that he would copy it for them. And so that's why I called her and I said, can we prove that we had the rights to it?
Yeah, that's what
Do we
looked.
have the rights to it?
We don't know.
We have no idea.
Oh.
It was, at the time, it was an agreement between Edward Curtin and the Nipissing Museum, I think, but I don't know whether it's in the museum or in the township.
Yeah,
And it was all printed. So. Okay, I'll get the numbers for you.
If you could, that would be great. And then I can go ahead with that. For the next meeting, we'll have something.
So is there any thoughts on Heritage Days? Just it is booked for August 13th. The next meeting's not until July the 5th. That's gonna give us just under a month to get everything together. So if there's any ideas or something we can start pulling stuff,
Just having the students look for the artifacts, because it will help them also to learn what's in the museum.
like what
So-
about like old versus new, like old kids games or old cooking or old, like, is there something we can start
theme for
pulling?
Heritage Day? Well, the heritage of this is logging.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Logging?
Logging or farming or mining, any of those things.
Yeah,
That's what made this township grow.
So
yeah,
logging,
Logging,
Logging
farming and
is the
mining.
biggest thing.
yeah.
logging, farming,
Mhm.
The railroad killed it.
And then, well, the big thing is the railroad bypassed us.
so logging and farming. Okay,
Often they were combined, I think.
Yes, they were.
Mhm.
Yes, they were. Those horses that you used to plow your field in the spring and in the fall, they logged all winter
Mhm.
because logging basically shut down in the summer.
Mhm. Yeah, so we could do a combination thereof, probably.
All logging up home shut down during the summer because it was all pulpwood. So it's
so
great.
there's something to draw from.
Tracks of poplar, and white birch.
I'll do some digging for you too. See what we did before.
We'll go through the minutes. I just don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't remember ever seeing anything on logging and
No.
farming, so that sounds pretty
You
neat.
could do a theme of growing the township.
Be nice if we could get somebody to come with a team of horses and show how they drag the logs and stuff.
Wish I met you still.
John Burns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they had that, plow day out there at,
Oh, at JJ,
yeah,
the tractor dealer.
Mhm.
yeah, in the pouring rain
Doesn't,
on the long weekend.
oh, Hummel,
Yeah.
Hummel, on Schleswig there.
John?
John?
Oh, Tony.
Oh,
Tony has
John.
draft horses.
Is it Tony that's got?
Tony
draft
down
horses?
at the, yeah,
Oh,
the-
Tony Hosley has draft
Yeah.
horses,
Yeah.
but I was thinking Maxine's husband,
it's John.
John. Doesn't he have
Yeah.
draft horses?
I don't
I
think so.
don't think so. But John Burns does.
John Burns
People
does, for
on
sure.
Chisholm, not River Road, but they have draft horses. I can't remember the name,
It's gone.
but they do go out, they offer rides, the ones in Chisholm, but John Burns used to put on displays all the time.
Who did the draft horses at Dave Matthews?
It used to be Pads.
Kilroy.
Kilroy, yeah.
Does his brother have the horses? I don't even
I
know.
don't know who they have up there now
No,
for that.
but there's who tell you where the horses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
Even if you got a hold of JJ and asked who was heading up and
Yeah.
looking after the horses for that out there, because he wouldn't have been organizing it. It would have been
Would have been
John or somebody.
Yeah.
But that would be a place
That's
to
probably a good
start.
Okay.
I would have gone if it hadn't been so liquid of a.
It wasn't a nice day to go looking at horses. It was too wet.
Okay. We all done here?
That was all I had.
Alrighty then.
Motion.
Great. Can I get a motion to adjourn from anybody? Okay, Gladys? Okay.
Yeah, we have to share them. The motions.
All in favor?
You need a time in there.
Right,
Seconder for that, I guess.
8:05.
8:05. The board meeting is hereby, motion number 2023-15, moved by Gladys, seconded by Dave, that the board meeting is hereby adjourned at 8:05. 8:05 PM. Next meeting will be held at July 5th, 2023 at 7 PM. All in favor? Carried.
And you want to start having the meetings at 6:30 instead of 7, because everybody's here by
Yes, you
6.